Why is it good to have a positive mindset? Well, what's the alternative? Like, who wants to choose that? In this video, we are going to cover the importance of a positive mindset, how to develop that positive mindset, and also how to infect others with that same train of thinking. I'm LizJSimpson, founder of the Big Money Movement, accompanied by
Cheryl Parks
and Heather Petherick,
our brilliant coaches inside of the Big Money Movement. And so I'm going to kick it off to you, Heather. What are your thoughts on positive mindset?
Well, let's be honest. We are all hardwired as human beings to think about the negative. Some brain scientists, neurologists estimate that we have tens of thousands of individually unique thoughts a day. And the vast majority of those are on the negative, right? What can go wrong, the bad things that can happen, or what's not working. Yeah. And so while we can have some grace for ourselves, that we are naturally, from a survival instinct standpoint, wired to think about the risks and the fears and the what ifs, we need to work in business particularly to be thinking about the possibility, the opportunity, because if we don't, we are going to miss it, baby. Right? What is the saying? You get more of what you've already got. Yeah. So if the majority of your thinking is negative, you're going to see what's wrong and what's not working. So can we please have some positivity?
As you were speaking, Heather, you know what word came to mind is counterbalance.
Yes.
We have to counterbalance.
Offset.
Right. You've got to offset, because most of what we say to ourselves is negative because we are hardwired for survival, as you mentioned, but we have to counterbalance that with positive. In other words, if I'm asking myself what can go wrong, I'm also asking myself what can go right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to always counterbalance to be sure that I end up at least in a neutral, if not positive space.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to jump in here because you also reminded me of something. This is what I love, like riffing off of you guys. So one of the things that I remember thinking of is it's around asking ourselves better questions. Oof. If we know we want to look at opportunity and create possibility, we've got to be disciplined in the questions that we're asking ourselves in the course of developing our business. So what I mean by this is we should not be asking a question that we don't want the answer to. The question being, is this going to work? Well, honey, you don't want the answer to that question, because what if the answer is no?
Right.
A better question is, how can I make this work? That's the better quality question, because when we ask our brains how, guess what? It sets our antenna to all the ways and possibilities of how it can work, instead of the one way of why it's not. Yeah. So ask better questions automatically snaps you into a more positive mindset.
And to add to that, if once you have the positive mindset, to your point about setting your brain on an intentional path, your brain, your mindset will show up for you and do what you tell it to do.
Yes.
So in moments where I cannot figure something out, I literally will just say to myself, okay, I'm going to put this aside. I will figure this out after lunch, in the morning, later today. I kid you not, it works like a charm.
Yeah.
I come back and for whatever reason, perspective, time, I'm able to figure it out.
Yeah. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. And guess what? I will.
I think what I'm hearing from each of you is it's a conscious choice. And I think too often we don't think about what we think about, meaning we don't inspect our thoughts or behaviors, and we assume that what happens on autopilot is the way that it has to be. And what I love about what both of you are saying is that you have some control. Maybe your immediate response is a negative thought, but then you can create an awareness, isolate that thought and say, is that really how I want to feel? You know, I'll find myself at times on a negative trail of thinking, whoa. And I think you literally have to pattern disrupt and say, oh, wait a minute. I don't like that. I don't like that. What's going on? What's going on in my head right now? And then I can use those tools to say, what's a more empowering question that I can ask myself in this moment? What do I want to choose for myself to edify myself and affirm myself in this journey? And so I think it's just critical to have the awareness and then use the tools. When we work with women entrepreneurs and we focus on sales. And so I know for almost every woman that we work with, fear comes up. What do you all think about fear?
Yeah. Fear is like the negative beliefs lurking under the surface, right?
Yeah.
And if we're going to understand what's standing in our way, we've got to look under the surface of what are we afraid of happening, and they're typically the negative things. And so understanding the basis of our fear and the root of that negativity, as you said, awareness, what is, I'm full of sayings today.
I love it. Let's go. Let's go.
My brain is wired in sayings.
Yes.
Awareness is curative. When we become aware of the root of our fear, only then can we choose to focus on something else. But if we're not aware of what we're afraid of or what we're avoiding and hiding from and resisting, we're going to stay stuck in that small, unprofitable, uncomfortable space. Right. When we're aware of the fear, then we can choose to focus on something else.
And, you know, just to kind of add on to that, so speaking to people that are watching this that are actually saying to themselves, I want to go forward, but I've got so many people around me that are telling me it won't work. Why would you quit your job? Why would you do these things?
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Right.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
You're
and
crazy.
So just so that you're able to understand that that fear is there for a reason, but again, counterbalance, add the energy to it that you need to kind of move through it. Be logical in your decision making, of course, and just understand your why so you can pull it out. It's all a form of energy, your words, your thoughts. It's all forms of energy that you get to leverage and use, and you get to attract what you'd like to attract, as opposed to, you know, falling down the path with those naysayers. There are always going to be naysayers. That's why positive mindset is key.
Yeah. And let's have some love for the naysayers, right? They're naysaying because they want to keep us safe. They want to protect us.
Of course.
But sometimes that protective layer is also suffocating or stifling.
Yeah.
And it's a small place. And if you know you have bigger visions, you want more from your life, sometimes you can lovingly ask them to sit it out while you pursue bigger opportunities.
And you have to realize that if someone's not achieved what you want to achieve, why do you think that they would have the level of thinking to help you achieve it, right? So, you know, if someone leads their own life with fear, if they had the awareness to not lead with fear, they probably wouldn't do it themselves. So we normally teach the way we live or based off of our own behaviors. And so you have to be really cognizant of who are the voices in your life that you listen to. One of my favorite books is The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, which is about, you know, the agreements we've made for ourselves in our lives. And a big part of these agreements we're living based off of what did I hear from my parents? What did I hear from my environment? What do I hear from my loved ones? What do I hear from my friends? And a part of discernment as an adult is to inspect those agreements that you've made for your life and decide, are those agreements serving me on the path that I want to be on? And if not, how do I create a new level of thinking for myself? And I think a big part of that are the stories. It's not the emotions that get in our way when it comes to positive mindset. It's the story we attach to those emotions that gets in the way.
One of the important things about having a positive mindset, this concept of we get what we focus on.
Yeah.
If we're trying to grow our business and grow a team that's going to support the growth of that business, you want to have a positive mindset so that you attract positive people.
Yeah,
right?
So true.
You don't want to have a naysayer on the bus of your business that's always pointing out the gaps, the flaws, and what we did wrong. It's going to drag down the energy and the culture of the business. So having a positive mindset, particularly as a business leader, is important to show emotional buoyancy when things are tough for your team, and to attract other positive people that can find the way to make it work instead of always thinking about, is this gonna work?
Yes.
Right.
And to your point, our mind, we talked about this earlier, like our brain is one of the most powerful tools in the universe. We still to this day don't really all the way understand the full capabilities and power of our own brain. But, you know, when we look at just the advancements over time in culture and civilization, those advancements come from people seeing something that doesn't exist yet and questioning, is that possible? How could that be possible? Right? And they take risks. And so I think the beauty of a positive mindset, you know, a negative mindset, what fear really does is fear goes in a memory drawer and says, what happened in the past?
Yes.
What data do we have to support this? A positive mindset says, I may not have, you know, a file in my memory drawer. I may not have data to support this possibility, but I'm still going to have faith and believe that these possibilities exist. I'm going to forge a path. And if you're looking to do greater in your life, that's the mindset that you need to do and create things that you've never had before in your life.
Yeah. How are you going to create new results with the same old thinking that you had?
Listen, you
Right.
can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
And that's the end. So that being said, the beauty of being curious about mindset and mastering your own mindset is that it gives you tools to help communicate and navigate other people's mindsets.
Yeah.
So in our next video, we're going to talk about how to overcome the objections that come from other people. Click that next video and we'll see you there. Bye.